In this video, I'd like to show you how you can enter two equations into Microsoft Word 2007. The first is from algebra theory, which you might learn in high school. It's the binomial theorem, how you expand a plus b raised to the nth power. And the second formula is an integral that I found very useful in laser theory, involving mode locking of multiple laser modes. So starting first then with the binomial theorem, I type an alt equal to insert a math zone here, and it cues me up saying type equation here. And so now I'm going to start typing this theorem, and it's going to be a plus b, and I'm going to raise that to the nth power. So to raise it to the nth power, I put a caret, which is sort of like a little up arrow, and followed by an n. And now it's going to be equal to something, and when I type the equal, it automatically converts the caret n into a superscript n. So now it's going to be equal to the sum of n plus 1 terms, and to represent that, I type in a summation. The lower limit, I use an underscore for that, which is also what Tech uses, and I'm going to use k equals 0. And for the upper limit, but I didn't want to have here, I didn't want to have equal sign there. Yes, I did want to have equal sign. But you see you can edit this as you go along. And for the upper limit, I'm going to have n. So now hitting a space builds that up as a summation, k equals 0 up to n. And then the first term inside the integrand, or rather inside the summation, is going to be a combinatorial factor n over k. So I'll say a top is sort of the language we use for that over concept. And I hit the right paren, closing that, and it builds up the n over k, and then I hit another space, and it will build up the parens to fit around the argument. Now the next element is going to be a raised to the kth power. So I do a raised to the kth power. I hit a space to build that up. And now b is slightly more complicated because it's going to be b raised to the n minus k. And so to do that, I put parens around the n minus k to tell the superscript operation that whole thing should be up there. When I hit a space, then that all goes up there. So now I have, that's the binomial theorem. As you can see, there are going to be n plus 1 terms in it. And what I'd like to do now is I'll put in the integral equation down below it, and to keep it in the same math paragraph so that we can align it, I type a shift enter. So shift enter, you see I have another equation coming up here. And so now this is going to be an integral, and this integral starts from 0 and it goes up to 2 pi. To get the pi, I type in backslash pi, and then I hit a space which converts that to a pi. Another space makes this into an integral. And you see I'm inside the integrand. I really want to know what the integrand is, or our software really wants to know what it is. So I have d theta. Now this is going to have a denominator, so I'll type a slash, and the slash puts in the slash, but it also terminates the backslash theta so that the theta shows up. And now this is a compound denominator, so I'm going to need to put parentheses around it. And I'm going to have a plus b sine. And now I'm inside the sine, and I want a theta there. So I'll type in a theta, and I hit a space to terminate that. To get out of the argument of the sine, I do a right arrow, and then I do the closing paren of the denominator. And then when I hit a space bar, it builds it up. And notice that just as the b to the n minus k lost its outer parens, so does the denominator lose its outer parens, since we don't need them. If you really wanted them, you could put double parens in there. So now I'm sure you're dying to know what the answer is, and it's going to be 2 pi divided by the square root of a squared, and now the minus sign will build up that superscript 2, and then minus b squared, and the right paren will build up the 2, a space builds up the radical, and then another space gives you the answer. So that's the answer in case you didn't know it. And now what we can do is we can use our handy-dandy mouse to select these two guys, and I can do a right mouse click to get a context menu, And one of the options is align it equal. So I type that, and sure enough, I now get the equal signs all nicely aligned. Another thing that one could get is I could change this from a square root into an nth root by doing the context menu, right mouse click on the radical there, and I can say show degree, and now I get a little space there for the degree, and I can put in n for nth root. But I'm going to hit Control Z twice, which is the undo key, because this would only be valid if n were equal to 2. So undo, undo, and now we're back to where it is. So let me also show a little bit about the shading. You'll see that right now the insides of the radical, namely the radicand, is shaded. If I do a right arrow, I go into the base of the superscript object, a squared. I do another right arrow, I'm at the right side of that base character. Another right arrow takes me to the superscript. Another one takes me to the other side of that. And then still another takes me in front of the minus sign. And so now the argument, the innermost argument, which is the one that gets shaded, is the whole radicand. And if I keep doing right arrows, the shading changes until I don't get any more shading at the end. So that gives you an idea as to how you can enter some useful formulas into Word 2007.